guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today it's actually really late, so I don't want to wake up Claire, she's asleep. But today it's the Let's Talk video, and as you can see from the title, it is Let's Talk about bereavement. And it's quite a sensitive subject, quite highly emotive, so I'm going to try and be as factual as possible. So for those that don't know, I lost my dad when I was 15, and I mean, it's a horrible time when you're a teenager anyway. To go through something like that was life-changing. And he was poorly for a few years, and yeah, so he passed away. I'm not going to go into great detail about that. What I wanted to talk about was sort of how to support people when a family member, a close person to them has passed away, but also how to support yourself. So not everybody will grieve in the same way, and I definitely didn't do the same as my brother did and my mum, etc. But for me, the only way for me to get through the grieving process was to talk about it, was to get support from the people that were my friends, and I did a lot of reevaluating of who those people were, and to just continue to live my life as if he was here, trying not to forget who he was, trying not to forget what had happened, but just to really live life. And one of the things that I struggled with at first was I was 15 and I wanted to be normal. You know, when you're 15, you really don't want to go against the grain. So I really struggled with the fact that I had something different about me. For those that have lost parents older, or in their 20s or 30s or even 40s or 50s, you will know that it's never easy. And actually, the longer it is, it still feels like you're missing somebody. And you always wonder what they're thinking. And you always, you know, it's been 21 years in March. And every year I remember him, and you know, some days I think about him all the time, and some days I don't think about him at all. And I used to think that that would really upset me. I used to think, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so upset that I'll never remember him. But you do remember him, and even though I was 15, you know, I do remember him. I still have photos, I still have videos, all of that. But I honestly couldn't have done it, one, without my family and them reminding me who he was, but two, just letting myself have those moments where I feel emotional, letting myself be thoughtful about who he was, and, you know, and talk about it. You know, I talk to my mum quite a lot. When I'm feeling I need to, I'll give her a call and we'll have a conversation. And I think that is a real key thing, is to talk about about them with the people that knew them, so that it gives you comfort. As I get older, there's lots of things I think, oh, Dad would have loved this. Dad would have really enjoyed this. You know, he didn't see mobile phones. He would have absolutely loved this. So there's a lot of things like that I think about. So I guess when you're trying to deal with somebody passing away, one of the things you do is you start to think about mortality. You think about it in a very logical way. You think to yourself, actually, everybody passes away eventually. And it's a horrible feeling to think like that. But you start to reevaluate what is important in life. And, you know, I have this feeling sometimes, like with friends that have let me down, and I realise that actually I don't need that sort of person in my life. And I've spoken about this before, spoke about it in my positivity video. Things like trying not to allow that sort of negativity to get in the way of living my life. And that is because I think life is short. Life is mega short, because it was, you know, my dad was 40 when he died and I'm 36 now. So really there's only 4 years until I'm the age that he was when he passed away. And that terrifies me. I'm not going to lie, that really scares me. But at the same time, I have to remember that, you know, everybody has a different, you know, date when it's going to happen. Nobody knows when it's going to happen. And we have to just, as family members, we have to support one another. And friends, the one thing that I really found is that friends can be really distant when things happen. So I know that one of my friends lost her partner, and I made sure I sent her messages just to say, I'm thinking of you. And more after, you know, even a month after, 6 months after, because that's when you start to feel the most lonely. That's when you start to feel that people have let you down, aren't bothering with you, because the thing is, they get on with their lives and they don't have to think about what's happened. Why would they? There's nobody close to them. So it can be really quite lonely. I've seen people reach out from parents dying, or siblings, or other halves, or friends, and I just think it's really important to show people that you're there. I do talk about dad a lot. There's a lot of people I know who have lost their dads, and it is always dads. It's really weird. Like, women seem to be superhuman or something. And I find myself sort of really empathising. I totally understand when somebody says, I've lost my dad. And a lot of people like me who are quite outgoing, who actually, the reason I'm outgoing, the reason I've got confidence is because dad passed away. And I know that sounds like a really ridiculous thing to say, but it all comes back to that life's too short scenario. It's like, I shouldn't worry about things. I shouldn't worry about what people think about me, because life is too short to worry about those sorts of things. And things like YouTube and getting myself out there and presenting, stuff like that really doesn't bother me, because all I can think is, if I don't do it today, I might regret it tomorrow. And I don't want to live in a life where I regret not doing something. And I'm not saying I'm a yes girl, but I do like to try and be more proactive because of it. So if you have a friend who's going through something where they've lost somebody, I do advise that you know, just message them. Even now, why don't you pick up your phone, send them a text and just say, I'm thinking about you. I know it must have been hard. I know I had a really spooky dream, which I might talk about in another video, where my dad came back in my dream and it actually happened. Oh, it's really spooky, but I think I spoke about it actually. I did, it was in Vlogmas, I think. I can't remember, I got quite upset. Oh, it was in a vlog, and it was about my friend. She passed away at the same time as my dad coming in a dream. That was just, it was terrifying actually, because it was so vivid, and I don't really have vivid dreams like that. And I still remember it now. Normally I'll have a dream and it will just fade away really quickly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, you know, bereavement is really hard. Grief is hard, and it's different for everyone. I tried to block it out by spending more time with people, getting back into a normal routine, whereas my brother, who's quite sensitive, decided that he wanted to talk about it, and he wanted to see dad, and he wanted to talk about it more, and I wanted to ignore it at first, but then I realised that actually the most positive thing to do was to speak about it, was to have conversations with people, especially those that knew him. So I guess that's really it. That's my advice. I wanted to talk about it. I did do a video a long time ago about what happened, the circumstances around dad dying, and I got very upset. I really did. I got very upset, and I don't want to do that right now. It's quite late, so I've held back a little bit, but I did want to talk about it because actually this is more about bereavement and not just about my experience. So I'm going to finish there. It's a late video. I would love to hear from you. If you want to talk about it, if you want to have a chat, message down below. There's lots of support. I know a lot of people on my channel have asked me about this. So I hope that this isn't too much of a intense video, and you do feel like you can comment. And I think everybody has had somebody in their life that they've lost. So, and if you haven't, then you know that's fantastic. But most people will understand where I'm coming from. So please do drop a message down below and just let me know if you want to talk, or we can talk about it. We can talk about our own experiences. That's what we're here for. That's what this community is. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you back again on Thursday for a very special video, and also next Sunday for a Let's Talk. Obviously, I'd really like for you to comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see in Let's Talk. But for now, I will leave this here, and I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. Bye guys.